Hello, CX leaders. Chris Higgins here, producer of the CX Leader podcast with another piece of bonus content. Bonus content are audio clips of interviews that we couldn't include in an episode, but is still great advice for our listeners. And this content is only available to those that follow the show through their favorite podcast provider. In our episode, The Empathetic Frontline, released back in March, guest Victoria Stevens from Flywire discussed the importance of employee experience as it relates to providing the best possible customer experience. Host Sara Walker asked how Flywire balances the advantages of automation versus live interactions during support calls and how the data from those interactions helps improve the CX-EX balance. Enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a great example of how the two can be married and really utilized to their strengths as far as, what's the right mix of automation and ease and what's the necessary kind of human touch in any sort of a frontline or support interaction. How does that look then on the back end, maybe when you're considering the success of the support function within the organization? Is it a marriage of those two types of metrics in terms of, maybe looking at what could be handled and not converted into a live interaction, and then the live interactions are scored maybe a little bit more subjectively on some of these more emotional markers? Or maybe help us understand how your organization approaches that to ensure that you're finding the right balance and not solely maybe relying on anecdotal listening from your agents just as far as what's the right mix.
So when looking at some of the metrics behind that fine balance, we look at things on the self-service side, things such as satisfaction scores, of course, looking at some of our both positive and negative comments that add a layer of detail behind how they're interacting with our tools, but then also being able to dive deeper into those personalized key moment interactions where our agents are involved. So see it as twofold, where the quality assurance scores are able to have a specific number to it, but then also there are certain aspects we built into things of a scorecard. We're being able to look at an interaction and say process adherence holds this weight in this interaction. There's a component to tone and empathy, as we've discussed, but then there are also details surrounding comprehensiveness and being able to prevent a repeat interaction. So speaks to well-roundedness of response. But I feel those tie quite directly to some of the CX metrics that we're tracking as an organization, things such as first call resolution. You can relate them back directly to NPS scores as well. So quite interesting at a whole. In addition to that, at times it may be challenging for our associates who are quite involved in heads down in the day-to-day of the questions that are coming in to really see how their performance links up to the higher level business objectives. So that's one area we really aim to hone in on and communicate what our core mission is as a CX function and as a customer service function, where we're adding value in the day-to-day interactions, but where we're adding great value across the business. So when building out personal development goals, professional goals, we define a cascade. So we would take the business level objective, relate it to our CX objective, and then tie that to someone's individual performance metric, whether it's related to their respective quality assurance score or the efficiency in their work. And find that works quite well, creates that level of alignment, but then it allows us to really build out robust personal development plans for each member, which ties into employee retention. So we love to provide those opportunities where someone can improve their soft skills, their technical skills, create a career within their organization, and then that helps in turn. They're able to be more effective in their role. They're able to utilize our tools to the best of their abilities, and then can keep costs down in other areas of the business, such as hiring, and again, ties into the retention piece.
Yeah. I loved the term you use, cascading, because that's such a maybe manageable way to think about it. And from what we find is that when organizations really want to be able to connect CX and EX, and how the interchange of those two experiences for the different stakeholders are connected, the more granular level data matches that you can make at the large end, or what's the right word, the bottom end of the cascading waterfall.
Right.
That's what kind of then retrospectively ladders back up to how you set your larger business goals. So that's a really, I think, like I said, manageable way to think about it as far as what is the business trying to achieve, what is our function within the business trying to achieve, what is the customer trying to achieve, and what is the employee trying to achieve, and how those all marry together, which is, I think the kind of thought process and way in which we, our really ideal way of thinking about experiences as a whole, and what we really kind of nerd out on in our community. So I think that was a super fun term. So I appreciate that.
I think another key piece of that as well is ensuring that the goals we're setting really align, again, to the business objectives, but ensuring our executive team members kind of buy into that mission. And at our company, as an example, during our busier periods, our peak periods when perhaps it's more challenging for frontline staff to conduct their daily volume, even a layer of recognition there, whether it's a quick Slack message from our ET member, or just a quick touch base point to demonstrate the business sees their value, sees their worth, again, speaks to employee retention, and then allows our associates to see how their day-to-day operations really links up and adds value for our customers.
Yeah. A little corporate empathy, if you will, there is kind of what I'm hearing too, right? Awesome.
If you want to listen to the full episode, visit cxleaderpodcast.com and search for the Empathetic Frontline. And did you know we're also on YouTube? That's right, we're posting all our episodes on YouTube, so you can visit youtube.com/walkerinformation and listen there as well. As always, thanks for listening.